Okay. Now, sometimes we want to make a comparison between two things or two groups or two items. So we can make comparisons in different ways and different structures. Now, if we want to compare with adjectives, we can use the comparative degree, like bigger than, smaller than, cheaper than, or more expensive, etc. We can use the superlative to compare one to a group. And sometimes we can use, when we compare two things, or two groups, we can use the structure as. Okay, so when we can use it to show that these things are similar or different, يعني متشابهة أو مختلفة. طبعا and we can use them with adjectives and adverbs as well. يعني في الغالب الشيء اللي ينطبق على adjective ينطبق على adverb. Okay, so here I'm going to give you both just in case, so you know, and then we'll move to the comparison also with as with nouns. Okay, so we can use it with adjectives and nouns. Now, when we want to use as, in this case, we need two nouns or two groups. Okay, sometimes if you remember in the comparison with the comparative degree, we said, I like this one because it is more stylish. That's it. So I just have one noun. I didn't say I like this one because it's more stylish than the previous one. No, we can have only one noun. Now here, no. Here we have to use noun number one. Okay, we have to use noun number one. Excuse me. Okay, we have to use noun number one and noun number two. Okay, noun number one and noun number two. We have to have both. Obligatory. Okay. Also, we know, of course, there is a verb in the sentence. Now we use as and we use the adjective. The adjective has to be as it is. Big, small, nice, expensive, cheap. In the base form, in the positive form. So we don't say as bigger as nicer as. No, wrong. So look at this example. It isn't or it's not as big as the old one. So here, see big, a positive adjective. Here, it is as good as you. Okay, good, positive adjective. Now, and you see, we used as. حتى تكون أوضح. As, and then the two adjectives. So this is the structure. We use as, a positive adjective, just simple adjective as big, small, nice, cheap. Okay, and then the other as, and we have noun number one and noun number two. So here, if you notice, this is noun number one. This is noun number two. Okay, and this is the structure. Same thing here. Okay, noun number one, noun number two, as, and the adjective, a positive adjective. Okay, now the same thing for the adverb. You notice that the same thing for the adverb here with well or quickly. One thing about the meaning when we use as. Now, if they are the same, we use an affirmative sentence. إذا كانت متشابهة. They are similar. If they are similar, okay, we use an affirmative sentence. Okay, if they are different, okay, we use a negative one. So here, for example, in this one, show you. For example, here this is negative. Okay, this is negative, meaning they are what in this sentence? Different. Okay, now here in this sentence, on the other hand, it is affirmative. Okay, and because it is affirmative, I'm sorry, the two nouns, they are similar. Okay, so affirmative meaning similar or the same, negative meaning they are different. Okay, and when I say it is not as big as the old one, which is bigger? The old one is bigger. Here means the old one is bigger. Okay, now number 2 is usually further or deeper, okay, or more or worse in the adjective. okay، يعني هو الأكثر أو الأقل أو الأسوأ، هو اللي أعلى أو أكثر تعمقا في درجة الadjective. Okay, now number 2. Okay, now with nouns, this is about adjectives. Okay, now with nouns, okay, we use again noun number 1 and noun number 2. See, noun number 1, noun number 2 are the same thing. Okay, in the same way. And we have as, and we have not an adjective, we have a noun. And because we are comparing the two nouns, okay, we need to use much or many. Of course here by the way there is something missing. Okay, يعني هون في الشكل بتلاحظوا انه في شيء مختلف. Because here we need to add, okay, noun. Okay, here we need to add a noun here. Okay, المفروض يجي noun here. Okay, so we have noun number 1, noun number 2, these are the comparison nouns اللي بنقارنها. الآن here we have as, okay, but we use much or many plus a noun. So if it is a countable noun, we use many. Uncountable noun, we use much. Let's take a look at these things here. So here we have as, and we have as, okay, and this is the noun, he, and his brother, noun number 1, noun number 2, okay. Now this much money is my comparison. Okay, my comparison. Money is uncountable, and this is why I used what? I used much, because uncountable noun. And of course, we already know that. Now here, if you notice, many is countable. We used many because students is countable. Okay? Okay, because we are comparing the two things with the noun, and the noun is countable, we used many. Here we are comparing two things and with an uncountable noun, so you used much. Okay, so this is the thing we can compare with nouns and adjectives with as, okay, we have to have the two nouns. لازم يكون الاسمين موجودة noun number 1 noun number 2. We can make them similar or different in both. Affirmative similar, negative is different. Okay, they are not the same. To make a comparison, okay, with as. Okay, so these are the elements. Now, one very important thing that I want to add to you is this. Sometimes we can use just as big, just as small for emphasis, يعني للتركيز. Okay, أو الدلالة على الدقة. Just as big as mine. Okay, just as big as mine. For example, your house is just as big as my house. Your house is 200 meters. My house is 200 meters, 200 square, of course, meters. Okay, your house is as big as my house. Okay, فبنستخدم just للدلالة على الدقة، لما يكون في دقة في الحجم أو المقارنة. They are exactly the same. فممكن نستخدم just as. Okay.